I think Ainkam is a role model because he's in charge of the whole Dr. Fall program.
In Tunyi, I see my friend Lumtat as a servant leader. I see him as a servant leader because not only he puts other people's needs first in our class and asks them what's wrong with their day, but he prioritizes it over himself. He serves. I see him around Onyi kids too and Tunyi kids. He asked to play football or stuff, just being involved in opening to others, being a good servant leader. Then how have I shown servant leadership? During the Junior Fall, I tried to.
In Tunyi, I see the Winchungs as a servant leader because they give up a lot of their time and a lot of their hours to teach all of our students and pursue or help us pursue certain leadership.
In TNTT, who do you see as a servant leader? So all those people who stayed in DTDP every single week, who came every single week to devote their lives to actually learn how to be a servant leader is who I see. And how have you shown leadership? Well, just being there for other people and helping them out. And yeah.
I feel like Andy has really kind of shown me what a servant leader is. Simply because he's always there for my class, whether it was related to our faith or not. He's always just kind of been playing a supporting role.
So in Tunyi, someone I see as a servant leadership is Anne because through the way that she puts others first, especially the younger kids, and always looks out for them.
In TNTT, I see Angelina Nguyen from Auni as a servant leader because at camp, every time she would want to help others, she would always want to help others, and she always put others before herself. Yeah.
In TNT, I nominated Caitlin Lay because she will always take care of kids and make sure everyone's in order, organized, and know what to do, so they're not confused.
In TNTT, I see not just one specific person, but I see everyone as a servant leader because everyone shows potential and everyone helps out the younger ones, and shows symbols and signs that they are a servant leader.
I think I see the Onyi in our Dwan especially being servant leaders because the Dwan, especially during Dwan camp, or me and camp, they really step up to a plate, and I feel like they really show those skills of what it means to be a servant leader. Because I remember a specific Saturday at Tunyi where these kids, they were helping to clean up something. I didn't really get a good chance to see what it was, but it showed how caring they were for one another and for the church itself.
Who I see as a servant leader is Emily Nguyen. And the reason why I see her as a servant leader is because she shows that she's a good leader and that she cares for everyone around her, even if she's not friends with them or anything. She shows that she has good leadership, and yeah.
Someone in Tunyi that has shown servant leadership is Hugh because he joined Junior Fall this year, and I noticed at Dwan camp he really stepped up, and he was the Deutschung, so I was really proud, I guess. And I've shown servant leadership because I guess I encourage others to join Tunyi and Junior Fall.
In Tunyi, someone I see as a servant leader is Jasmine Huynh because she was on my team and she was really hardworking. Even though it was a little stressful at times, she still managed to pull through and get everything done and get everything ready for camp. And how I've shown servant leadership this year is I've really looked out for my own needs and make sure they understand everything and make sure they have input on the team.
someone that I have seen that shows servant leadership is Rosemary, because she was on my team and that she was really helpful from like late night calls and planning out everything and to looking after our own needs. And that something I have done that shows servant leadership is that I have helped and tried to like see whoever like didn't have anybody, or like just try to talk to more people and just try to include everyone.
So one person I see as a servant leader is Cindy from Seek Up High, because it was my first year in the junior fall, and like she saw me stressing out, so she was like, everything's gonna be okay.
Okay, start.
I think I'm David because I think both of the I'm Davids because they're both kind, they're nice, they're respectful, they like to keep other people safe, and sometimes they're like very protective. For me, the person I see as a servant leader in Junyi is Antam, because he has to take over the entire Dan, and he's very responsible, and he's dedicated, and he's sacrificing his time for us to do things so we can have a good time during Junyi.
I think Chi is a servant leader because she dedicates her time into all the things that she does, and she puts her all in what she does, and she helps out a lot.
My sister Alexis is a servant leader because she always does the right thing and she's always honest.
My cousin Jay showed me how to be a leader because he sacrifices time to help me do my Tony homework and my school homework, and he always helps me when I get hurt or get mad, and he always teaches me new prayers when I don't even know them, and I'm supposed to learn about it.
I see my two sisters as a servant leadership because they always set a good example for.
I think my friend Helen is a good servant leader because she's willing to sing and also willing to help others.
I think David is a good example of a servant leader because he took the time out of his day to help record and not eat.
A person that I think is a good servant leader would be our Huinchungs in the Dochung of your team, because they're the leader of your team and they guide you to success in your team and what you're doing.
So what I think TNTT servant leadership person is, well, that's gonna fail, but still. But what I think it is Antam, because it's hard to lead like a whole over 100 kids. Really hard, really hard. But then he takes his time and makes sure the team is in place, and then he takes his time and leads the team into the right direction. Not the wrong one, but the right one.
I think Chibin, because she spends her time with us, helping to know God, and they guide us to be like successful between God and knowing enough to like go up to heaven or something.
Who I think is a servant leader is Chi because she takes her time out of the day to guide and teach all of us because we're a big group.
In Tuni, Trinity from my camp is a servant. I think of a servant leader because whenever someone is hurt, she cares for them, or like she takes leads and everything. Like she would stand up or just kind of take charge if no one's doing it.
I think a servant leader is Jasmine and Juan because they were my Dojung Doi Fa at Tridon Camp, and because they
dedicate their time to like buy things for spirit gear and like prepared skit for us and like got the team like all together. And yeah.
I think everyone in Dojunlefa is a servant leader because they sacrifice their time to be here and learn about God and become a better leader.
In Tuny, I think Jibin is a servant leader because I always see her helping out during projects, like during lunch, during people's free time.
I would say G. Teresa as a servant leader because he cared for everyone.
So I think that Jeet Mary is a really good servant leader because like she always does things before others. Like she can always think of others before herself. And like the memory of I have with her is like she's making us all really happy and just always worrying about us. So she recorded all of us in like tune Gapmo or Gap High. And then like later back then we all said, Asadu.
Who I want to nominate for being a servant leader will be my brother Ryan. And the reasons why I would nominate him would be because even though I didn't see him throughout camp, I still saw that he was being a servant leader, motivating kids to always do their best, as well as telling put in effort. And also, I saw him motivating little kids so that they can always know that they're special and that they're part of the team.
I would like to nominate On because he's a person who always like shares up his stuff, like gives up a pencil if you need a pencil, and he's just overall a great guy.
I choose Davian Nguyen as a servant leadership in the Junior Fall because every time we have a retreat or a camp, he shows energetic to kids and he shows his team spirit and always participates in every activity.
So who do I see as a servant leader? I see Jeet Vin as a servant leader because she does a lot of stuff behind the scenes and I feel like she doesn't get enough credit for it. And like during like the live stations of the cross and everything, she does a lot to help out.
I choose Megan as a servant leader because she always plays and makes the effort to, and she serves for the church. And also she always worries for everyone just to make sure they're just doing fine.
I choose Kira as a servant leader because she also serves for the church and she helps other people when they need help from her.
So I think Ellen is a servant leader because he helps make the little kids feel like they actually belong to Dojo Defa.
So the person I want to shout out is William Nguyen. I shout him out because he's shown servant leadership through like when everyone's down, moments when people are down, he lightens up the mood and brightens everyone's day. And another reason is because he always stops what he's doing and makes sure everyone's good and okay.
A person that I would think that is a servant leadership or a servant leader is Juan because she put people in front of her, above herself throughout camp, even in Tianyi, and she's always helping others when they're struggling throughout the Zhongdaifa and Tianyi.
Who do I see as a servant leader? I see Jeet Mary as a servant leader because she's always wanting to keep people happy and she always puts others before herself. And she's like always caring about people and how they're doing.
Someone who I would say is a servant leader would be my brother because he's been someone who's very impactful to those around him. Like he puts those who are inexperienced or young and puts them out so they can experience it themselves. He makes sure everyone feels included, everyone feels like they're motivated in some way to do the things they want.
So I think in Tianyi, a servant leader that I see a lot is Hugh because he was my leader during Jaidan and I saw him lead the team very well and he really like took care of the Onyis and everyone in the team.
I would like to give a shout out to Anjun because he would help us in choir, especially for us drummers. He will help us like what to play, what to do, yeah.
I say David
because he's helped me through camp by helping. Well, he helped me watch over the kids, and that's something because I've had to keep track of like a lot of kids, and he helped me with some.
Isaac is a servant leader because when I first came to Tiongyi, he was the person who stood out to me as one of the leaders, and he was my first friend in Tiongyi, so that's why I think he's a servant leader.
In Tiongyi, who I see as a servant leader is Rosemary, because she's really active, someone I look up to. She's a hard worker, and yeah.
I see Hyun as a servant leader because she takes time out of her day to help me throughout Tiongyi and gives me good advice.
Okay, I choose Megan because in class, like whenever anyone like needs help with notes, she'll like put them before herself and she'll help you understand the topic better. And overall, although she's like more quiet than everyone, she always like is there. Like if you need someone to talk to, she'll just pop up and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And that's like personally why I think she's a servant leader.
I see Tommy as a servant leader because he takes a lot of the pictures at camp and he takes the time out of his day to edit them for us, and people just need to be patient because he's doing the best he can to get all the photos out to us.
I see my little sister Alina as a servant leader because whenever we're at camp, she always tries to contribute and always does her best to be involved with her team, even if people shut her down or don't want her. And yeah.
So who do I see as a servant leader? I see everybody as a servant leader. Everybody has their own. Everybody has shown their own attribute to prove that they are a servant leader. I see you guys stepping up when you guys are needed. You guys are always going beyond your expectation, and that just proves how much you guys are ready to serve our Dawn and just make us greater. Woo! Chúa Hải Đông!